The value that you create in society with your business and with your time and with your skills has a direct correlation to the amount of wealth that you will ultimately have at the end of your life. And most of society actually gets this all wrong. What you see with 95, 98% of people is they wake up every day and their entire mindset is fear-based and they are just trying to figure out how to make more money. And focusing your mindset on how you can make more money is the total wrong approach to making money, guys, because you're constantly in this scarcity mindset. What you'll find with the most wealthiest people, if you look over the world's richest people through the decades, you know, the Henry Fords, the Andrew Carnegies, the Benjamin Franklins, the Elon Musks, Jeff Bezos, all of those people, they all come from different backgrounds, different industries, but they all have one thing in common. And that is every single day they wake up and they think, how can I create more value in society? They truly start with that question. How do I create more value? As you can see with this chart that we're going to pull up on the screen here, the wealth that you can acquire is going to have a direct correlation to the amount of value you create in society. And over time, that wealth just grows as you create more value. And so in this video, we're going to explore 4 high-level skills that you should really have in your business. As the CEO or as the business owner that's in charge of your business, you should have these 4 skills in order to really take your business, take your time, take your team's time, and leverage everybody's time in order to create as much value and as much impact in society as you possibly can. So let's go ahead and dive into it. If you're new to the channel, guys, by the way, my name is Adam Zwingler. This channel is really dedicated to helping business owners start with a really good idea. We've got an awesome video on how to analyze and figure out whether you've got a good business idea or not. We're going to go ahead and put that up, a link in the screen up here at the top. But you want to start with an idea and over a 10-year period, this is not a get rich kind of quick thing, but over a decade, be able to scale that business in the skill trades to $10 million in annual revenue. This channel is really dedicated to helping you build the right team and build the right systems and execute on all the things that you really need to do in order for your business to go on and start to grow. Even if you're removed from your business should be able to go on and do incredible things over time. So if you're interested in learning those skills and learning how to do that, consider liking and subscribing and following along. All right, let's dive into it. And before we dive into it, I'm going to have a short rant about college. College and universities are pretty much worthless at this point. For most degrees, they're borderline a scam. And the reason for that is because you don't learn invaluable skills. You learn theoretical knowledge, okay? And there's a big difference between learning theoretical knowledge in a textbook and learning a true skill that is actually useful for society, that you can take that skill and you can make a difference in somebody else's life. Theoretical knowledge in a textbook doesn't do that for you. And so what you're finding is a lot of people are going to college, they're getting into $200,000 of debt, $250,000 of debt. They're learning a whole bunch of theoretical knowledge from professors and, you know, university teachers that basically have never even done real work. They're just professors. They're not even people that have done real work. How can they teach you how to do skills and valuable things for society when they haven't even been in society? And they're teaching you. These people are getting into debt and they're racking up all of these student loans, and then they're getting out and they're realizing they don't even have any skills. Nobody's even interested in hiring them because no business wants to hire somebody that doesn't have skills. College will not tell you, but in the real world, the only thing that matters is the skills that you bring to society. And society isn't interested in you if you bring theoretical knowledge. Nobody wants theoretical knowledge. Everyone wants skills. So college is, in my opinion, almost a complete waste of time. I've even pulled up this chart here. Let's go ahead and analyze this chart. So I just made a quick rundown of this. University and college is basically theoretical knowledge. Skills are the ability to do something, the ability to provide value. So college, theoretical knowledge. Skills are useful, the ability to be useful, just at a core level. That's what skills are. Useful, if you're able to be useful to society, then you can make money, guys. And that's why skills are so valuable. So you want to learn skills. You don't want to learn theoretical knowledge. But the question is, like, what skills should you be learning? As a early stage CEO or founder of a business, what skills should you really know how to do in order to be valuable to society, in order to be valuable with your business and be able to be dynamic with your business? All right, so that's my rant on college. I don't care whether you agree with it or not. I've just watched a bunch of people get into a ton of debt and they basically aren't even using their degrees because their degrees aren't worth anything. They're off in other industries. Most of the people that I went to college with aren't even using their degrees. I don't even know anybody that's using their degree. Like, total waste of time. So I'm just putting a plug in there. Just learn how to do something useful, guys. And the skilled trades are truly useful industries that can make a big impact in people's lives, and they will pay you a lot of money if you know what you're doing and you're good at what you do. So just, if you're young, take the time to double down right now and learn something in the skilled trades, and you will be able to leverage that, and you'll be able to make a lot of money over time. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the first skill, which is the ability to execute on a master plan. Guys, there's a whole bunch of like more pointed skills that a lot of YouTube videos talk about and articles talk about. This first skill is not something I've heard really anybody talk about, but it's really the ability to execute on a master plan. I'll tell you a little story about this. I worked for a mega yacht owner. Back in my 20s, I worked on mega yachts, and I worked for this owner. He had recently sold his business for $180 million, and it was one of many businesses that he had built up. He would start a new one over a course of a couple years. He would build it up, and then he'd exit them for a couple $100 million each. And this is the most recent one that he had exited. And I asked him, I said, how are you able to do this? And most people can't. And his answer was really simple and straightforward. He just said, you know, most people just can't see an idea all the way from start, inception, all the way through to the end goal. They can't see the whole thing. They get caught up somewhere in the middle. They get hung up somewhere in the middle. They have a limited mindset or a limited belief, or they just don't know. They don't have the right skills to be able to play the whole piano, right? Like if you think of a business like a piano, most people are just over there playing chopsticks on the piano. They know their couple keys and they don't really know any other keys. But if you have the ability to execute on a master plan, you're essentially playing the whole piano. And maybe you're not doing all the work yourself, but you're knowing the people and the software and the tools that you need in order to play the whole piano. And if you can do that, that skill set is an extremely valuable skill set to have, guys. And what I see with a lot of early stage entrepreneurs and business owners is they're limited. They don't even realize that they're only playing a couple keys on a piano. They just don't even realize that they're limited in a very short, narrow window of what they're doing with their business. And if they could just see the master plan and start making a conscious effort to strategically work towards the end goal, that is in many ways one of the most valuable skills that you can have as a business owner in the skilled trades. Is it's like looking at the top of Mount Everest and knowing that's where you're going to get, and knowing that you don't even know how you're going to fully get there. Like you're going to encounter a lot of things along the way that you don't even know what those things are yet, and you're going to have to problem solve them when you get there, weather and just the condition of the mountain. But you do have a clear understanding of the end goal, and most people just don't know what that end goal is. They really don't. And that's why, you know, I've kind of tied this $10 million mark as an end goal, but there's probably a better way to visualize the end goal of your business. And I don't know if you've really thought about what you think that you can realistically accomplish over a 10-year period with your business. You know, if you do the right things, what can you really truly accomplish in a 10-year period? So understanding how to execute on a master plan is probably one of the most valuable things. So that master plan ability is a skill set that very experienced entrepreneurs have, and it's something that hopefully this channel is going to be able to help teach you how to see the master plan in your business and look at the right things and put the right things in your business in order to really make that kind of impact and build something that is actually truly valuable. All right, so let's jump into skill set number 2, which is commercial estimating. Now keep in mind, this is for the skilled trades, guys. This is for construction skilled trades. Commercial estimating really does separate the bigger companies from the smaller companies. You look at mom and pop shops and they don't know how to do commercial estimating. They don't even think about commercial estimating. They are building their business through word of mouth and, you know, some other lower leverage skills. The larger companies that have 20, 30, 50, 100 employees, couple thousand employees, whatever it is, they all know how to do commercial estimating. So you gotta learn this skill if you don't already know it. And if you really think about it, if you go back to caveman days, the guy that would go out and hunt down the big buffalo and drag that back to the camp and feed everybody for 3 months, he was probably held in pretty high regard with the tribe. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. You know, there's a really good correlation to commercial estimating, because commercial estimating is actually the process of going out and identifying really big contracts, really big potential jobs that you can then bid on, follow up with, build credibility with the right people, close that actual job, and then organize the resources and the manpower and put the right systems in place in order for your team to go out and actually do that work and then provide value for society and feed your team, and ultimately create enough value that hopefully you can monetize a really nice amount of money off of each of those big commercial jobs. If you go out to, there's a YouTube channel called I Am Builder, which is run by a guy named Daniel Quindemeyer, I believe. And he learned how to do commercial estimating, and he stepped into a business, and he tells this story on his YouTube channel, but he stepped into a drywalling business that was doing $500,000 a year. It was a mom and pop drywalling company. And he stepped in there, and through knowing how to do commercial estimating, over the course of 2 years, guys, he scaled that business from $500,000 to $7 million. And they actually had plans to scale it up to $20 million. You can truly scale a business to $100 million or even larger. You know, companies in the skilled trades, the really big companies, they learn how to do commercial estimating, and you absolutely have to learn this skill, guys. If you want, build a business from 0 to 10 million. If you want a bigger company that runs successfully on its own without you, you got to learn commercial estimating. It is something you simply have to learn. Skill set number 3 is high-level sales and high-level closing, okay? Which is very much similar to commercial estimating. But you got to realize too, guys, sales and the ability to actually close business is an extremely high-level skill that if you know how to do it, is almost the most valuable skill that you can learn. In many ways, it's one of the most valuable skills you can learn, because with that one skill, you can basically start from nothing and build anything you want. And from my experience owning businesses and hiring salespeople through the years, there's weenie baby salespeople to really like probably the lowest level, lowest quality salespeople that like to call themselves salespeople, but they're honestly just glorified office receptionists. They don't take proactive approach to anything. They have to be micromanaged. They have to be held accountable, and they really just don't get anything accomplished. So there's salespeople like that. That's not the kind of salesperson I'm talking about. I'm talking about really high level, persistent, proactive salespeople that go out and they hunt down the big sales, and they know how to negotiate and close. And they know how to communicate value. Here's a really good thing that actually describes a high-level salesperson that can close. They basically turn into a consultant. Really, really good salespeople, they build so much rapport and so much credibility with their potential customer that their customer just intrinsically trusts them and starts to seek their advice in what to do in the middle of the sale. And it goes from the salesperson selling the person, which they probably, a good salesperson doesn't even start off selling the person, but in the midst of building that potential customer into a customer, what you'll find is that a really good high-end salesperson actually takes on a consulting role, and they lead the customer to the end goal, and they solve the customer's problem, and the customer ends up walking out the door, shaking that person's hand, and thanking them for helping them solve their problem. That's what a really good high-end salesperson does. And there's an art to high-end sales and really getting the job done and closing somebody without making somebody feel uncomfortable, but actually just identifying what they really need and then putting together a solution that's going to work for them. And there's no real easy way to learn this, guys. This skill set is done through repetition. And really, all of these skill sets, they cannot be developed overnight. They take time. These skill sets take time. They take years to craft them. But I think it's really a great idea to put all 4 of these skill sets on your dashboard and really start to allow your imagination and your subconscious mind to start to really press deeper into how to actually do these things. Because as soon as you become a master of some of these things that I'm talking about, that's the moment that your business becomes magical. It really starts to scale and it really starts to grow, and you start hiring a lot more people, start growing at a lot faster pace, and you start doing the things that are needed to really go from being a small business to a bigger business. Okay, so skill set number 4, company culture, guys. Ability to build company culture. And just stick with me for a minute on this, okay? So company culture is not putting in a break room and having snacks and having coffee and, you know, having a picnic table outside and, you know, the Christmas party and stuff. Here's what company culture truly is. It's not all that surface level stuff. Having a really good company culture is being clear on your values. And values are basically the behaviors that you want in your organization. So knowing deep down inside of yourself how you value people to behave, and then putting a word to each of those behaviors. Those are your values. And then you need to hold your team to those values. Hold them accountable to those values. And when you're really intentional about your values and you seek people that have your values, that's how you build really powerful company culture, because everybody values the same things and they like working together because they all have a sense of shared values, right? One of the most important things that you need to do when you're building company culture, and somebody that really knows what they're doing when it comes to company culture, is they have to make sure to not let people that don't have those values come into the organization and trample all over the values. One of the biggest things that is important about building company culture is, yes, it takes work to actually find the right people and build that company culture, but then you're constantly looking like a hawk. You are looking down on the organization to see if anybody doesn't fit your values. And then you're working with those people. If somebody doesn't exhibit the values, you need to hold them accountable to the values and correct them. And if you can't correct them and you can just see that they inherently don't have those values, you got to get rid of those people. You got to get rid of shitty people in your organization, guys, because they become like a cancer. And then the good people in your organization that share the right values, they leave because they don't want to work with the one cancerous person that doesn't have your core values. So having the right core values is the foundational, fundamental piece of building a really dynamic company culture. And there's a lot of value in building a great company culture. I know with my sandblasting and painting company, guys, my guys are so rock solid and they all love working together, and they go out into the field and they literally get job offers daily. We work with other contractors and they're constantly trying to poach my guys, and they're offering them more money. And the thing that keeps really good talent around your business is being clear on your core values, building a team that all shares those core values, because those high quality people like to work with other high quality people, and they're willing to give up a certain amount of additional pay that they would get to go and work in a shitty organization to stay in a good organization and work with the people that they want to work with. Okay? So company culture matters, and there's a huge ROI on building a company that has really dynamic people, that it's not a revolving door and people aren't leaving all the time and new people coming in. You have to train new people and you have to constantly hire new people and interview new people. Company culture allows you to keep the same people around for a long, long time, and they become friends and they become associates. And here's one of the best ways to know if you have a great company culture. Hold a company meeting and see what the energy is like. Because what I know is that for really good company cultures, when there's a meeting, when I hold a weekly meeting or a bi-weekly meeting with my guys and I bring them in and I give them the agenda of all the things we're going to talk about, I can't even hardly get a word into edgewise, because everybody has something they want to say and everybody wants to contribute and everybody cares and everybody knows that their opinion matters and they feel valued and they don't feel afraid. Because here's what you can tell. When you got a crappy company culture, people are afraid to speak out. They're afraid to talk, or they just don't care. They're like there to collect a paycheck. They don't like the people that they're working with. They don't like what they're doing. They're not inspired by the company that they're in, and they just want to get through the meeting so they can get on to other things. My meetings are set to be an hour long, and they always go 2.5 hours. And I'm the one that's saying, guys, we got to shut this thing down. I've got a wife and kids at home. I've got to go home. And they're all still sitting around waiting to carry it on. Okay. So you can tell if you have a good company culture by the dynamic of your meetings. That will tell you. And if your meetings are dead silent and your people are afraid to talk and everyone is not giving their opinion, you probably don't have a good company culture. Maybe you don't have a bad one, but you don't have a good one. All right, guys. So that's going to wrap up my fourth side hustle. Now, also consider coming over to Build Up University. Build Up University is our website that we have developed to help give you courses and give you guides and documents and really get deeper into the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts of the things that you will need in order to scale your business. It is there to equip you, to provide courses and classes. And even though I don't have those courses plugged in there yet, we are building this resource to basically be a master resource. So there's going to be a one-time small membership fee. As of right now, it's a small membership fee, and every single month we're adding and building more into this. So I think in a couple years or even in a year or two, this is probably going to be kind of a pricey thing to get into. So as of right now, it's relatively inexpensive. It's early stages of building this YouTube channel, and I would highly recommend getting in on the membership website. Probably one of the most valuable things that we have over there right now is we have the ability to build you a website for dirt cheap. We're building websites, one page, beautifully designed, beautifully graphicized websites for $1,000. You know, if you need to get a small business off the ground and you just want to do it efficiently and build something really quality. My company, Inside Out Creative, has been building trades company websites for almost a decade now. And it's pretty much all that we specialize in. So we really know how to build a nice quality website for the skilled trades. And we have a couple templates over there that just make a ton of sense for anybody that's trying to get started in the skilled trades and build something valuable. All right, that's all I've got, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.